watching the #1 podcast in the whole entire wrestling community. And I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leek.
Together we are
Roper.
And you guys can see, clear light for this pay-per-view, because it wasn't that great, but it wasn't that bad also. We're going to talk about regular rules. Forget about that.
Then normal rules. Yep.
Normal rules. Only one match had a stipulation, rather, and it does suck. Because the concept of this pay-per-view is supposed to be going to the extreme. Remember, that's the one night that WWE goes and does something that out of the ordinary that they normally do, and they don't do that anymore. But we're going to be talking about everything. So thank you to every single one of you for being with us. Paul, what do you think about these Extreme Rules? And then we can start going with every single one of them.
Had a bunch of matches that were one, especially that was being set up, with a bunch of no DQ finishes, was the tag team championship match. That could have been DQ. Becky Lynch, Bianca could have been our Extreme Rules, no DQ, whatever.
Or table, ladder,
exactly. A lot of these matches could have been, like you said, the TLC, whatever kind of match, and they weren't. There was just, like you said, normal rules, just a normal wrestling match, only the main event. So that just made this feel like just generic pay-per-view. It didn't feel like anything special, so that was kind of lame. We did see some good matches overall, I guess, all right, but again, it was nothing I'm going to go back and rewatch.
Exactly.
Especially with that ending. That ending was just
it is the truth. So family, thank you so very much one more time. So let's start talking about the pre-show, because Liv Morgan, despite how excited she gets, despite how much she tries to be in that area that a main event, they always push her down. They moved this match. It was supposed to be on the regular show. No, they put it on the pre-show. I mean, Paul said this should be a pre-show, and they actually went by him.
Yes,
so maybe
exactly.
Jean-Paul is having a lot of pressure in the WWE. So they did this, and this match with Carmella, the most beautiful woman in the WWE, this turned out to be a pretty good showing for Liv Morgan, especially Carmella helped her to have a pretty decent match. I'm not gonna say it was stellar or anything. It was nothing that showcased both girls in a really highlight. No, it was just normal. The ring attire of Liv Morgan different, also Carmella. They had back and forth, but Liv at every time of the match, the crowd wanted her to win. Carmella, it doesn't matter what she tries, her gimmicks never work. So Paul, she try, dominated for most of the match. Then Carmella took over, super kicks, all the shtick that Carmella does, going on the outside. And then the one thing that Liv kept trying to do was the same move to send her into the ring post to damage the nose, that what she did, and that was the origin of this match. But rather than that, she was able to finally do that move onto the table and the announcer's table, and then she hit the Oblivion, and Liv Morgan gets the pin, 1, 2, 3, and she actually wins on pay-per-view, but a pre-show, not real main show or anything. But a lot of people are thinking that a possible push is coming for Liv Morgan.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, with Liv Morgan is one of those girls who she should just be getting wins like this and do something with her. Hopefully not in the tag division. Hopefully they're okay, let's just get her some wins on these mid-card women, and she can eventually challenge whoever's going to come out of, the triple threat, which they're talking, people are triple threat. If you haven't seen the pay-per-view, we'll cover it soon. But, Liv Morgan, I think, should be right there, a credible challenger to Becky Lynch or whoever's the champion.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. Maybe Liv Morgan has an opportunity right here in the main roster. While we'll see what happens with Liv. Maybe a match with Becky Lynch for the title, it will be good, because you have a mini feud, like you said, in the works. But that was the beginning of the show. Extreme Rules, a lot of back and forth in the pre-show with Kayla Braxton, JBL, all of them, Rosenberg, Sonya Deville, Jean-Paul said, she challenged her, she's babyface, then heel, then she wants to be the boss, then she wants to be just an analyst, a commentator, so you know how it is. So then we go to the main show, and this was the first match that opened this Extreme Rules, and this was all a match that nobody wanted to see. It was put together on the fly just because you needed continuity for what happened on Monday Night Raw with Big E winning the WWE Championship. So they put this together, of course, the New Day and Omos, AJ Styles, and also you get to see Bobby Lashley. So what did you think, Paul? Because to me this is just hey, we know what's going to happen on Monday Night Raw, so that's the only reason that they did this.
Well, that's exactly it. It's hey, we don't have a championship match for the WWE Championship. Lots of people like Big E. They're happy he's champion. And, we have an angle we want to set up to make people watch Monday Night Raw, because the ratings for Raw have been shit. So, we'll set up this angle here. And, a match that went way too long. And, I didn't care about it at all. And, you see Big E, he pins Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
To jump to the end of this, I mean, Omos, they teased him and AJ breaking up. But what if they're drafted to different brands? I don't like how you can draft one guy from a tag team. It should be the tag team goes together. But whatever. Anyway, the match. I don't know, like too much. You see. Like Xavier Woods gets all this offense on Lashley. That's just, to me, so unbelievable every time I see it. It takes me out of it. I'm not a big fan of the New Day. I like Big E as champ. I would just wish he was more serious. And like I said, to see Lashley eat the pin, he gets pissed. He challenges him. He's like, I would have been able to do this one-on-one. You keep hiding from me in these tags. You cashed it on me when my leg was done from Randy Orton. Same old shit. So he challenges Big E for a match on Monday. So
no, yeah, like you said, this match, like there was a lot of back and forth. Yes, like we got to see a little bit of like the New Day, AJ Styles and Omos. A lot of people are saying that Omos is not getting any good, but like I mean, he's gonna need time. Like they're gonna give him, like that's the one thing, matches. They need to give him feuds if they want to get something out of him. Remember, like he is as like a stole of like the Great Khali. So what are you expecting from the guy? Like very similar moves, very limited in when it comes to like mobility and stuff like that. But like you said, the one thing is like they just wanted to like showcase the champion in a good light, which they did, and that's what they should have done. We have here Michael Thomas Angel. He says Cosmic approved as the Eternity Legit Boss shows magic one more time. We're gonna be talking about that in just a minute. But like you said, like Big E pins Bobby Lashley, so the feud again, I guess is gonna continue on. We're gonna find out in just a little bit. I mean, AJ Styles is like lost. I don't want to say lost because of his own choosing, but like he's just lost because they don't have anything good for him. What would you do with AJ Styles, Paul? You just send him on like.
I mean, I really think one of the things, let's just say, they're probably going to do this, but Big E beats Bobby Lashley, and then we see the draft. I think they are going to split up AJ and Omos, and Omos it's going to be sink or swim, and we're going to see how that ship sails, but. I think AJ is going to be a guy who challenges Big E. I think he's going to be Big E's next big feud because AJ is going to make him look like $1 million. AJ can bump for him, but AJ can also go on offense, and AJ will bring him to one of his best matches because Big E is like that. He can be in a good match when he's in there with somebody who knows how to lead, and that's what AJ can do.
No, yeah, I agree with you, and that's what they should have done. But I don't know what they're trying to do. In the end, we get to see this, but again, you need to make your champion look good. That's the only way that you're going to be able to sell Big E. Because a lot of people are, against him. A lot of people are for him. So at least, they did this the right way. So like now, Paul, let's talk about like the WWE Tag Team Championships on the SmackDown side. You put an idea that is very important on Friday night. You said, what happens if Montez Ford split up from Angelo Dawkins? There was that subtle tease because he was not there on Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and now is in my head that like in the draft that is going to start next week on Friday, this might be a situation that happens. But aside of that, probably one of the greatest matches of this show because it was back and forth. I love interactions between the two. Usos got a chance towards the end, really for anybody. It was anybody's game there.
Yeah, I mean, I even like when the Usos, they hit the. Like they kind of just hit each other's moves and everything, like mimicking each other a little bit there. And, this match was really good. I enjoyed it. Montez Ford, again, shows, why, like we've been saying, he can be a single star and why, if they are going to split him up, they're going to push this guy. Definitely, the big dive to the outside. He shows the intensity, the fire.
He had also tape around the injury from Roman Reigns and everything.
I mean, Angelo Dawkins is good too. You can't take anything away from him, but it's like when one guy has that much charisma and is a star, the one guy's going to shine more than the other one, and unfortunately that's Montez Ford. But I wouldn't split them up because you already have no tag teams, and at least these guys are a legit tag team. They look the same, they have that chemistry. But the match was good. I'm glad the Usos won. Because, we all knew Roman Reigns wasn't going to lose in the main event. You want to keep the bloodline looking strong, have them all draped in gold. So it was a good match. And this one could have been Extreme Rules.
Yeah, this is going to be even there's a maybe steel cage.
So that was really my only complaint was it wasn't because we saw the the DQs they got put through the announce table, so maybe it could have been a tables match. I mean, that's a really gimmicky match. I don't care for that one too much because it's like, what if you slip and fall and put yourself through a table? Like, do you lose? What is that? So that's kind of dumb. But again, it could have just been a TLC something.
No, yeah, like, and that's the one thing, because towards the end, we, like I said, we saw like a lot of pinfalls, like a lot of like pinfall attempts, like from the heavens. We got to see the Uso splash with the super kicks, double super kick, and then double splash. That ultimately that would be the last move that we saw. And in the end, the Usos retained the titles, which we thought that was going to happen. But I don't know, like you said, you put that idea in my head, and now I'm really thinking that it could be just because like a lot of people have faith in Montez Ford. Montez Ford is the guy. They know that like he can be that superstar, and Angelo Dawkins, he's just the Marty Jannetty of the group. So that's what's gonna happen. But like, let's go now to like very quickly to like Bobby Lashley, because he's pissed about what happened in the match, and he just says oh, I want like I just all these tag matches. I shouldn't be fighting like this. I should fight like a man, just you and me, one on one. How about if we do this tomorrow for the WWE Championship, and do you accept all of that, because I want my title back? The draft is coming. Or like you can see he's pissed. So that's the intensity that he needs as a champion, but he's losing a lot lately. So like we've seen him getting pinned 3 times in 3 weeks. One time with Big E, one time with Roman, and now once again on Big E. So like the stocks on Bobby Lashley are falling apart a little bit.
Yeah, and you don't forget, before that we saw Randy Orton pin him 2 weeks in a row. So
yeah,
this is the one thing where Bobby Lashley, if he loses here, which I think he's going to, that's really going to hurt his credibility moving forward. And, then what are you going to do? Put a new rebranded Keith Lee with, a loser in Bobby Lashley, and he has no MVP. He feels lost. He's in the same club as Karrion Kross, this badass guy who should be pushed. And, I don't have my manager, so I guess I'm, a mid-card chump. I'm just going to lose all the time. And it sucks for Lashley. I would cut Big E's title reign short and put the title back on Lashley. I think he's the most legit guy you have on your roster besides Roman Reigns. But, they're probably going to push Big E, job this guy out. I really don't know what you would do besides.
And like the one thing is like, the feud with Goldberg is still like is still right there. So like you're not gonna have that feud anymore. That's the one thing that I don't understand if you want to continue doing that. But that's what they wanted to give us, and that's what we're gonna see. So like next time that we see each other on pay-per-view, it's gonna be from Crown Jewel. It's gonna be on Thursday, October 21st. It's gonna be at 1 p.m. for everybody that's watching us in America, and our lens in South America and all of that. This, like you said, this pay-per-view should not have even taken place, but we know like there's a lot of money given to the WWE, the big contract, so that's why they do it. So that's all we need to mention about that. We will be covering, but we're going to be talking about now Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair for the Raw Women's Championship. This match was not going to be a match. We knew that this was not the intention for this, just because, Alexa Bliss is whatever you want to call it, hot, great actress, all of those things, but the one thing you will never use with her is like a great wrestler. And Charlotte Flair is the opposite of that. So maybe they could tell us a different story. It was Alexa Bliss's hometown, Columbus, Ohio. So there was like a little bit of subtle teases all around the match. But what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, this match, Charlotte Flair, she can bring Alexa Bliss to her best match, because Charlotte Flair is the best woman that they have, wrestler. I'm not going to say promo or anything but just like overall wrestler that they have on their roster, Charlotte Flair. So she brought Alexa to her best match a little too long. That's really the only thing I have to say. I mean, I'm fine with Bliss, getting offense on Charlotte, looking dominant. Obviously they're going to push her and everything. Here we have Pato, Pato,
Yeah, Pato says like he supports Alexa, él apoya Alexa, pues él es que él también le gusta. Like, he loves Alexa. But there's a lot of reasons why he should like her. But, that's what like we saw, and keep going with the thoughts. And then I'll give you
no, I was just gonna say like it's just too long, but I was fine with the offense. I like when Alexa she countered the natural selection. That was pretty cool, that spot. Because even commentary was confused. Like, oh, did she roll through? What's going on? It was a pretty cool counter. How she quick moved out of the way, and this was good. Just besides, it went too long, and what happened afterwards? Because I knew Charlotte wasn't gonna lose. I mean, I know you said
this. I did like.
You thought Alexa was gonna win, but I was thinking Charlotte the whole time, but. The only real problem I had, like I said, what was the ending with the whole? It took forever with Lily and the doll, and I'm like, what's going on
like here after this is when Alexa was trying to get more offense on Charlotte, but she grabbed Lily, so that will distract Alexa, and then Charlotte was able to hit natural selection, and then she gets the win, and then you get to see Alexa they starts going back and forth because Charlotte pretty much destroys Lily, and I think that's the end of the doll. It's not there, it's completely gone out of the WWE. It's not selling anymore, so they're not going to use this storyline as part of this anymore. But then, Alexa retrieves, and then a picture of cake, where you guys love cake, so why not just have a little bit of cake? Because, like, completely sends Alexa onto, like, the announcer's table. Then Charlotte, and, like, she leaves the ring, and Alexa's just crying. And I think that this is going to be a new version of Alexa Bliss. They're going to just destroy this character because what can you do with that? You can't do this anymore. The Fiend is not there anymore. Like, the powers of Alexa Bliss are like, she's probably going to go back to be the same Alexa Bliss. Maybe take a break. That would be good too, don't you think? Just take a break.
You need to. I mean, I love when the crowd's like, "Thank you, Lily." I'm like, "Thanks for what?" But I mean, that popped me because it was so stupid. It was funny, but I mean, what do you really do here? You gotta go back to the old Alexa Bliss, because that is pretty much what Charlotte Flair said. She's like, you were legit when you were the old Alexa Bliss, not when you're this, new gimmick, Harley Quinn, crazy wannabe knockoff bullshit. And you see this crying, this breakdown. So I'd have her off TV for a month or so, not completely rebrand her, but change her a little bit, have her come back. And, I think that would be the best thing for her.
No, yeah. And, like, she went crying. She was like, screaming also, like, really crying, like, screaming out of the top of her lungs. And, yeah, like you said, it's just that I think that's the only thing that they can do with her. But for me also, like, I'm a huge believer in taking breaks. Meaning, like, get her out, like, maybe go get married with Ryan Cabrera, whatever. Just have her on. Like, she's been taking out of acting classes. She's been expressing that she has a lot of desires to do something outside of WWE, some acting stuff. Do that, and then come back, and then, just be the same Alexa Bliss that we knew from before, because this already run its course. There's nothing else that you can do with that doll, and I don't know if they're going to have a rematch either. I don't think so, because it's like, for what?
With this, no, I think she's going to be off TV for a while, like I said, and then kind of come
back. Hopefully that's why they do that. So that's what we had, and that was the match, like, pretty much Lily's out of our world, and, or at least, or she's going to do the same thing with the Fiend. Done. We'll see what happens, family. Thank you one more time again. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're watching us on YouTube. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, also on the OG Raw Break, and like I said, like, here in the original Raw Break, also all the way on YouTube. Support us, like, we put wrestling content every single day. All the companies, you see it right here on Raw Break. So let's go to the United States Championship match, and this came up to be from a singles bout into a triple threat, mostly because of fans asking to add Jeff Hardy into this. They did it because, remember, 2 weeks ago, Jeff Hardy fought against Sheamus. I think it was, and Sheamus beat him right away. And then they had a rematch. And then if Jeff will win, they add into the match. And that ended up happening. But I think Jeff added a lot to this match because it made it better. The pinfall attempts were a lot better. And the fact that he had a lot of opportunities to win enhanced the quality of the match.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing, is the crowd was so hot for Jeff Hardy in this match. There was a couple of times here where I'm like, I don't think they will, because Damien Priest is their guy. They're pushing him, obviously. He's their future. He's the one guy from NXT who they push legit. Everything he's done is badass. I know you might not like the Bad Bunny thing, but it was a main event thing for WWE that has been talked about. So it was a legit spot. I'm sure there's lots of guys on the roster who wish they were in that match with Bad Bunny. So, Damien Priest has been treated legit, but I'm sure he would have did the job, but they're like, no, you're not going to do it. And Jeff Hardy, he wants Roman Reigns. He said it. He's like, I want a match for the Universal title. I mean, he said he wants to be the champ, but, I don't see that happening. But, even to challenge Roman Reigns, I think would be good. He has this match here, and, it was good. And like I said, the crowd was into it. I really want him to win, but, I knew Priest was gonna, pull it out somehow. Did you think it went too long, or did you think it was good?
No, actually, I the one thing that I didn't like is like how, like, Jeff Hardy kept being taken away of the match, because at the beginning, Sheamus like kick him, and then you're like, oh, is supposed to be you and me again with Priest and all that. I wasn't too out for that.
It's because they don't know how to book. You see that a lot. They don't know how to book these triple threat matches. It's like one guy gets knocked out and he lays there for a spot. It's like, oh, after I do the suplex, come in. He's like, okay.
Yeah, so like I don't appreciate that. Like, for me, it should be like like mid-match. It once became better. Why? Because you got to see Jeff Hardy actually getting an opportunity, getting more offense. I know that he's a little lethargic, and that's just my perception of Jeff Hardy, but I'm used to Jeff Hardy in 08, fluent, like kind of like the Young Bucks, Adam Cole, like that, Seth Rollins, that like he's just like the speed of like every single move and sequence is just like 100%. But now it's just like a little bit. It takes him a lot to get to the top rope. It takes him a lot to like do the whisper in the wind. It takes him a lot to do a lot of things. But besides that, it was actually good. I liked it. But like you said, like he had a lot of opportunities here, especially in the picture that I have for you guys. This is when he was about to hit the Swanton Bomb, and then Sheamus like took him out. So I mean,
Oh,
it
I,
was
I
like back
like
and
that
forth.
though when he takes out Jeff Hardy and then he's up on the ropes and he's doing the Jeff Hardy thing like
Oh yeah,
fuck
he was
you, like
mimicking
making
that.
fun
Yeah,
of him. Yeah, that I
that
mean
was
I
cool. Yeah,
that was funny.
yeah,
I mean
it was.
Sheamus
So
is a
like,
good heel, but again, it wasn't like oh my god, he hit a big move and he pins him. It's just like oh let me just grab Sheamus, 1, 2, 3, roll him up, and it's like
yeah, then like I said, like, and Damian Priest is the guy. You mentioned that before, and that's like, I really believe that that's what they're gonna do. Like there was no way that he was gonna lose that title, but the fact that they added Jeff is just to enhance. And it sucks that like they see Jeff in that light anymore because like he can't even call a championship. But you saw the sign of respect right there between Priest and Jeff. I mean, it is what it is, but like in the end, Damian Priest like retains the United States Championship. So I lost the mask. My nose still looks like shit. But that's right there, Sheamus. Right? That's our
I
guy.
just love how much the crowd was, behind Jeff Hardy. Hopefully, they hear that and they go, okay, we'll do something with this.
Oh yeah,
Hopefully.
no, that's what I mean. Like the reason like he got added into the match is just because the crowd was asking for that. Like
And
like all these
especially
things.
because you have the draft coming up. Jeff Hardy is on whatever brand Roman Reigns is, probably SmackDown. You keep him there after this feud with Lesnar, whatever. Jeff Hardy beats a guy or two. He beats up this guy. He beats up that guy. Boom, Roman Reigns. They book
And that's what
stuff
you
like
should
that.
do.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what you should. It's an easy booking. You don't need to go outside of the box. Like he's been talking about bringing Willow back. That's like an alter ego that he has before his contract expires, and then he goes to AEW because that's what's gonna happen. So like that's unfortunately like he knows that in the WWE he doesn't have any single chance. He doesn't stand a single chance to like be something one more time, despite how many promos they give him last year during the pandemic. I think that's the only reason that they actually trust him on something.
I think at this point WWE, like the guys who are making like the new video game, they're like, okay, should we just take all of like the currently wrestling legends out of the game because they all like Mark Henry, Big Show, Jeff Hardy, they all.
Like there's not gonna be any legends left. I agree with you. Like it sucks because it is what it is. Like they don't have an opportunity for these guys to like at least be trusted with like main storylines anymore. Like
especially and like a big one, which we didn't even really mention too much. We won't go into it. We will a little bit more into AEW, but Owen Hart, with partnership, is Bret Hart gonna sign fully with AEW?
No, that and especially because Bret Hart does not have a contract with the WWE.
Yeah.
As far as I understand, and like the fact that like they do with Owen, and how Bret is all about Owen, so it's pretty. You have a big name outside of Bray Wyatt, so you're right. So let's go now to just speak very quickly with Big E. He accepts the match. That was all he needed to do. He says, "Okay, I hope your ass is ready. No injuries, no bullshit, none of that. It's just you and me, and tomorrow 8 p.m. they're gonna open the show with that. So I mean, is he gonna lose the championship? No, it will be a shocker for me. If he loses the championship, which it will be fine for me, but like I don't think they're gonna do it. That will be way too stupid to do it. Way too stupid to put it on him.
I mean,
It away from him.
I mean, I think if you really want to get some good heat and something here, you could have a debuting Keith Bearcat Lee, whatever his new name is gonna be. He can come out here. He can come out here and help. If he's gonna side with Bobby Lashley and there's gonna be a new Hurt Business, he could be the one to cost Big E the match. And okay, Big E loses, and then you could keep the New Day versus Hurt Business feud going on, and then you would just need to add somebody else because it would be Lashley, and then it would be Keith Lee, and then you need somebody else since MVP's done. I don't know who you bring if you have Shelton back or who you bring in, but I mean this is something that you could do if you want to put. They'll probably just do it anyway, but Big E will still win. So it's like, oh, I'm going to see a group of losers go against the champion, which nobody cares about.
No, yeah, exactly. Like, and that's the one thing that like they need to like improve. Like you said, that the Hurt Business might be getting back together. Like I said, Keith Lee will be a great addition, and it will be a resurgence for the Hurt Business. But hopefully that's what we get. Let's go to like the SmackDown Women's Championship match. Becky Lynch defending the title against Bianca Belair. This match was like to me decent at most. I didn't see a lot of chemistry. I actually saw Bianca is way more athletic than Becky. Becky is more like a wrestler, holds like not as athletic as Bianca could be. But like the good thing is like there was like the outcome of it. It was actually enhanced by like the return of somebody. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, see, I like this match because of that. You had the two different styles. Like Becky, especially she was doing a lot of leg drops in this match. So they're like, she's learning new moves, she's doing new stuff, new offense. And Becky's so great too. She, where she goes for a pin, and then Bianca kicks out, she sells it. Oh my god, facially she sells it, or
new attire for Becky also, Paul. All white now, no more black.
Yeah, I mean that's I like when they do that, because to me that almost symbolizes like, oh, I'm the baby face, I'm the good guy here, look at me, and I mean it looks cool, as a champion wearing like all white, I think it looks cool, and I like this match though. Even though, like you said, maybe it wasn't there, I thought it was good. I thought it was like a wrestling match. Maybe that's why it wasn't, too exciting, because they were doing a lot of stuff. And, Becky going for the arm bars, but Bianca getting out of it, or, powering her up. We saw the strength of Bianca, lifted her up with one arm, slammed her down. Becky, was kicking out of a lot of these pinfalls that were real close. I mean, the match was good. I liked it. And in the end, she had her, again, she had the disarmor on, but Bianca picked her up. It looks like the KOD. Oh my God, this is it. This is the end. The camera, pans out. We see, some blue-haired woman runs in. Who's this? Well, who has blue hair and is in WWE? Sasha Banks. She comes in, boom, takes them out. So obviously DQ ending to this. And, Banks, and I like when Becky and her look at each other like, oh, hey, how's it going? It's legit. And she's like, fuck you, takes her out.
Hey, guess who's here, Paul? Tom Libel is back. Hey, hey, Tom, how you doing, buddy? How you been? Thank you for being with us one more time. And he says 2.5 stars for the overall pay-per-view, in my opinion. And like you said, we got to see Sasha Banks, and then we will talk about what Tom just said. And, she's back, the big stare down with, Becky Lynch. And Becky thought that they were going to be, friends and everything, but, Sasha Banks takes care of both of them. Backstabber for, her, backstabber for Bianca Belair. So it's all about Sasha Banks now, and I like this, like you said, because it becomes a triple threat match. It's add more depth to this division, to SmackDown, and now you have 3 opportunities to play with this title. It's not just going to be Bianca and Becky anymore, and now Sasha Banks. She might be the one getting it from Becky. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, see, this is what definitely makes this whole division interesting now. That's the whole, thing. We said it needs stars. You can't just have the champion, and their challenger, and then a bunch of losers, fighting, just or not even on TV. Now we're going to see at least 3 women on TV. We're seeing Liv Morgan. So we're starting to see something here, especially with Bayley. You got to think Monday Night Raw is eventually going to be which they already are. And the USA Network is like, why is our show shit? And, SmackDown's getting all the stars. SmackDown's loaded, and, we don't have anything. So, I mean, the draft is definitely going to address that, this upcoming Friday. But,
it's gonna change the game for in a lot of ways. And, we have also Tom saying more stuff. He's like, I'm doing great, guys. Hope all is well for you, Juanzo, and Twisted T, JP, John Paul Egg. Thank you, Tom. We love you. Thank you for everything that you do for us. Keep sharing the word, keep spreading the word about us. Keep telling what we do. We're the best at it. We're not just lying here. We're just knowing that we are. So keep supporting. And thank you to every single one of you that is watching also. So, please don't forget one more time. We got to remind them, if WWE does it, why can't we? There you go. Follow us on YouTube, the original Raw Break. Follow us on Twitter, the OG Raw Break. But going back to Sasha Banks, like you said, this is good. Never we got a reason for what she was out. We never heard why she was out. A lot of people say she's pregnant. A lot of people, a lot of issues with McMahon, or maybe she needed time off. But at least she's back. Remember, you said something about the masks and all of that, she said about SummerSlam. So I don't know, but at least it's fine. It's really good that it's back. She's back because she's gonna, like I said, maybe an opportunity for Becky and Sasha one more time. I don't hate it. They had a good feud, and now the roles are inverted because is she the baby face now? We could say that, right? We could mention that she could be the baby face. So it's not a bad idea. I'm all for it. And Becky, we'll see what the feud keeps happening with Bianca now with the inclusion of Sasha. Is really interesting.
Yeah,
to see
the only thing to say is those are 3 top caliber women, and only one of them is a champion. I don't think all 3 are going to end up on the same brand. Maybe Bianca and Becky, maybe that's done. Maybe it's going to be Sasha and Sasha and Becky, or maybe it's going to be Sasha's.
I'm thinking maybe Bianca goes to Raw.
Yeah, maybe we're going to see something with Charlotte, because I really don't see all of them being up on the same brand. I think this was just a boom. How do we bring her in and be like, here she is. she's back. In a big way. Exactly. And also, it's good because Bianca was going to win. So all the fans know, Bianca was going to win. So she still looks strong, and Becky's still the champ. So to me, it's a win-win-win.
I like it. Yeah, it's fine. It's good, and at least that's the good parts of the show. That's the thumbs up. That's the things that make the show a little better. So now let's move on.
We're already where? On the main event. Here we go.
Exactly. Yeah, we're going to the main event, and that's the only match that had actually a Extreme Rules
This
stipulation.
that was all the pre-show. This is when Extreme Rules actually started.
Yeah, it started. Yeah, so like Extreme Rules started like at like around 9:45 p.m. You know, for a lot of people. So Universal Championship match: Roman Reigns defending against the Demon Finn Balor, and then they add like the Extreme Rules stipulation because everybody, WWE always listens to the fans, regardless whether like they admit it or they don't. They do listen. It doesn't mean that they're going to do what they say, but they listen to the commentary and they said, well, regular rules, like normal rules, like pay-per-view, a lot of memes, a lot of like posters, a lot of stuff, like just making fun of them. So it's like, at least, hey, and we do a match that actually says that, and yes, we did.
Like, so,
and that's what we got.
The writers are like, we'll give you one.
We'll give you one out of like seven, out of like that seven, one. But this turned to be like a really fun match. We said this in the show, in all the previous like shows that we did on SmackDown, on Raw, and every single like show that we do. We said the Demon is not gonna win unless something completely out of this world happens, and
but something completely out of this world did happen, and he still didn't win.
Yeah, well, there you go. So like, not even.
Yeah,
we knew that like, Roman Reigns is the guy. He's not gonna drop that title, and it sucks because now the Demon has a loss in the main roster. So like, the Demon is also like, what do you do with Finn Balor? But like, take me through the match. I like the candlestick spot.
I mean, I like the match. Balor definitely hung in there with Roman. At first, they lock up. They try to wrestle. They try to fight. They say, okay, the Demon, there's something about him, mysterious, all this stuff, but, he's not stronger than Roman Reigns, so he's not going to win that battle. So what does he do? We see the kendo sticks, and then they start beating each other with the kendo sticks, and then the kendo sticks aren't enough. Then we see the steel chair. Then they start, a spear through, barricades and all that stuff. They fight in the crowd. And, this is the thing where maybe they wanted, this match to feel extreme. And that was the reason why it was the only one. But then just call the pay-per-view something else. Remember when we got like, Vengeance or something like that, and it sounded badass.
Mercy.
Yeah, no mercy. And you just had this is an Extreme Rules match on Unforgiven. Why don't you just do something like that? It makes it sound better. This sounds like it makes you seem like an idiot to call it Extreme Rules and only have one Extreme Rules match.
It doesn't apply. It's like Hell in a Cell that they use have like one Hell in a Cell match. In Hell in a Cell maybe you could get away with that, but this is the concept of it is like the one night that WWE goes extreme.
Especially because you have people like Bianca Belair. I'm gonna chant like you and me at Extreme Rules in a normal match.
Exactly, like it's like you're contradicting yourself. That's exactly what your point, and I understand and I agree with it. But like you said, we got to see a lot of like good spots. Like you said, Roman Spears, Finn Balor looked really well in this match. Like a lot of like intensity from him, and he got already a disadvantage because the Usos were there. So that also like signified that he had to like fight like pretty much a handicap match.
Yeah, and he even took the Usos out, which I liked. I was like, oh, is it going to be over right here when the Usos got involved? But no, Balor takes them out. But then, when he goes for the pin and everything, it's obviously too little too late. But, Roman kicks out. But the one thing, I do like, it was when he got taken out on the outside. I think it's when Roman speared him through the barricade. It was a little
well,
gimmicky.
This is the beginning of it. Like, remember, he did the coup de grace, so he was going to win. But the Usos is like stop the pin and all of that. And then you got to see more dissension. Let's see what Livel says right here. I want to know who wrote the end of the match and what in the the gobbledygooker were they thinking.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. Give us a minute.
We're gonna get there, Tom. But like you're right, like you got to see that, and this is the part that you're talking when he did like the super spear and like through that. I like this, and I thought, oh my god, that's the end. But this turned out to be really good though. Like the lights got a little like red, and we got to see the music. We got to listen to the music of Finn Balor, and I like that.
Yeah, and because like in the beginning you hear the Demon's heartbeat. So they played the beginning of his music, so you hear the heartbeat, and Balor jumps right up, and it's like, okay, it was gimmicky, but it's cool if and only if exactly what happened. He beats down Roman Reigns, he gets him in the middle of the ring. Oh my God, the Usos are still, they're done. Nobody's gonna break this pin. It's over. Balor gets on the ropes. He's going for the coup de grace. Here it is. We have a new champ, and he just stands up there for what feels like an eternity. Like you're playing the game, and you're about to hit triangle to jump off, and your controller dies, and you're like, so, and you just stand there. That's what it was. Eventually, the ropes break, the record scratched.
Rope break.
Yeah, exactly. Rope break. Subscribe. No, the rope breaks. He falls down in the middle of the ring, just lays there like an idiot. And Roman gets up first, spears him 1, 2, 3, and it's done. Yeah, this ending sucked. I don't like it either. I didn't. Especially because he keeps saying, "Oh my God, the Fiend." I'm not the Fiend. Excuse me, the Demon. He was.
He got flashbacks from the Fiend.
Yeah, exactly. The Demon. He was never defeated. On WWE. Oh my God, this alter ego. You really tried to get the Demon over, but it's the first time we're seeing him wrestle on TV, or not TV, but on WWE, television in the longest time. Yeah, main roster in the longest time. So the first time we see him, he loses. So,
yes.
It's not good. And like you said, where does Finn Balor go from here? I don't know. And he can't go to Big E. Big E, it's not like they debuted Finn as like when he was a heel, like, oh, I'm the prince, I'm the best, I'm a heel. Then, okay, I could see him in Big E. They could. Yeah, exactly. So you can't do that. You know what I mean? So, I really don't know what you do, and it sucks. I wish they wouldn't have done this match with the Demon, but it was what it was. And, but the whole problem is, even before this, I don't know why we're complaining, because we knew Roman Reigns was going to be the champ. So.
No, like you said, there was no mention of Brock Lesnar. Maybe there was like a segment that like Paul Heyman was like Caleb Braxton a little bit, and he like was talking.
Yeah, he was on the phone, and he's just like, oh, why are you here? Do you think it's this person? Do you think I'm cheating on you? He was making fun. He's like, or do you think it's Brock Lesnar? He's like, if it is Brock Lesnar, what does it matter? I'm on the phone talking to business people because Crown Jewels, coming up, we want to make money. Roman Reigns is going to be going against them, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, they hyped it up. And again, that was another thing, too. Well, what is it going to be non-title at Crown Jewel? No, we knew Roman was,
exactly, because like probably like the people on Saudi Arabia, they ask him, we won this match and we want it to be for the title, and since they're giving the green or giving the cash, we gotta give them whatever they want. So that's what they did.
Exactly.
And a lot of people just like let's address this before we go. A lot of people, did you have any issues with Peacock? A lot of people said that like their stream, they actually were listening to the Spanish feed.
No, was that only during? I thought, did the report say that was the whole show or just the pre-show?
No, a lot of more, like a pre-show.
No,
and also,
I was
like,
good.
Later. I did not hear anything. For me, would be like.
And see, also there's a lot of different things because I'm watching it off a computer. Were people watching it off console, like Xbox or PlayStation?
Like
Oh, Xfinity. Okay, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
For example, a lot of people also miss like.
Here we go, Tom. He had no issues. Tom, how did you watch it? Did you watch Xbox, Fire Stick?
Yeah, because like a lot of people like, and I'm the one included though. Like I miss Alexa Bliss's entrance because
here we go.
He's about to
like,
come out.
Legit, yeah. Tom's badass.
He said,
look at that response time.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you, Tom. Like, and but like I miss Alexa Bliss's entrance because like I was actually watching, and then Peacock decided to give me like 2 Xfinity ads. So I'm like, okay, but like a lot of people are complaining that like they're not doing justice to WWE, and it's true. Why would you put ads in the middle of a pay-per-view? WWE never did that.
Yeah, see, they've done ads before when a match ends and it's whatever. Not back in the day, but in the past couple of years, I've seen that before, where it's like, oh, here's the KFC ad with Enzo and
but
Taz,
WWE, you know what I mean? But like, it's like I think that like
but when it's on Peacock,
in the wrong spot.
Well, yeah, it's because Peacock is NBC. This isn't a WWE owned app; it's NBC. So NBC's gonna be like, "Fuck you, we're gonna show our own ads." So.
Yes, yeah, it's true. So like a lot of people got issues on that matter, but like if you didn't get the Spanish feed, I didn't get the Spanish feed. Tom didn't get it, so there's a lot of that didn't. But that's what we was. But like overall, Paul, like we give a thumbs up. I think I give a passing grade. Like this, not thumbs up or down. Just
yeah. If you had to say like, did you enjoy this or did you hate it, or like I guess like love it or hate it. If it's that black and white, I would say I loved it. Like you said, if it's thumbs up or thumbs down, it gets a thumbs up because I like Bianca and Becky. I like the triple threat. Charlotte and Alexa Bliss was all right. Would I watch it again? No, but it was the best match Alexa Bliss had, and because it just again credit to Charlotte Flair, and the tag team match was legit. The only thing is at 2.5 out of 5, so he's giving it like 50. He's giving it like all right, it was all right.
Like I said, like a line, like a straight.
Now if that's 2.5 out of 10, then that's.
Oh no, that's so. Yeah, that's
Yes.
so. I mean, Tom didn't like it then. I mean, it was like it's because WWE. Remember, like we're used to like seeing good things and like, but this is a transitional
Mm.
paper.
If
They're
I'm saying
thinking
if
about
I'm
the
staying
job
out
now.
of five, if I'm staying out of five, I'm gonna say 3.5 because
Yeah.
the only matches I would really say like like I wouldn't watch again definitely would probably be the opening match,
No reason for that.
Charlotte and Alexa Bliss, and probably the main event. I mean, even though the whole match was good, just the last I would watch the whole thing, and then as soon as Balor gets on the ropes and his music plays, I'll hit
Then
exit.
you just
I'll hit
flow. Yeah, but because it's like you didn't need that. 2.5 out of 5 or
There
a
we
6
go.
out of 10. He says.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, let's put the comments so everybody can see. That way they don't say, "Oh, you never put me on." Yeah, I do. There you go. there it is. There it is, family.
One
I know it's true.
puts
Like,
you over.
6 out of 10 is like, hey, it's kind of like a passing grade. It's like, hey, you kind of suck, but like we're gonna help you out. We're gonna push you a little bit. So that's what it was. But
And
like,
you know what, Tom? To tell us this, if a couple of these matches were Extreme Rules, would that have made the rating go up?
yeah,
Or
yeah.
were
Tom,
you
what
fine?
do you think?
Or were you fine with normal rules?
Yeah, like next time I'm just gonna like try to take away the extreme and just put normal right there. But like, yeah, like it would enhance a little bit more. Like especially if you say Extreme Rules, at least give me a pay-per-view that is a little more bloody. One night, one night in a whole 365 days. Just do one night.
Especially because AEW is pushing that right now. The whole Onita and Moxley and all that. We see that. Nick Gage and Matt Cardona, they're getting GCW like hyped up. I don't know why you wouldn't do something like that, but it is what
No,
it is.
you're right. You're right. I agree with that. I agree exactly with you. So, like, pretty much that's what we had. So, family, thank you so very much for every single one of you, like, watching. Don't forget to keep subscribing. Like I said, OG Road Break right there. Paul is going to give you all the names. I'm just going to, like, pipe it up, like, right here. Also, like, don't forget Original Road Break on YouTube. Like, help us growing up there. Keep the bell for notifications. Give the video a like so more people can, be exposed to us and where else.
Well, no, before we get out of here, Tom said when I asked him his question if the pay-per-view would be better if it was Extreme Rules, he said, or more matches with that stipulation. He said, yes, of course, it's Extreme Rules. Make the majority of the matches towards your pay-per-view. Exactly. Make at least half of them Extreme Rules matches. That's why it should be, or don't call it Extreme Rules. So we agree. That's why Tom is badass. And, if you guys agree, hit subscribe and make sure you follow us on all of our social medias. Rope Break on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok. And, of course, right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
A special thank you to you, Tom. Have a great day. Enjoy it's the beginning of the week. It's Monday. We got to do it. All of us have to do it. Like, let's see what he says. He said it's like Rumble pay-per-view with no Rumble.
Exactly.
Laughing out loud.
Exactly.
Don't what is the cause like false advertisement, right?
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that, WWE. And Paul, you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is